Hey everyone, it's Kay from Kcrochay, and today we'll be making a easy, trendy jacket. This jacket is actually inspired by a look I saw on Instagram. One of my favorite K-pop idols was wearing this really cute jacket, and I thought, why not recreate it? So we'll be using size 4 medium acrylic yarn. The yarn that I'm using is from Bernat Premium Yarnspiration, but you can use any acrylic yarn in size 4. You'll need 3 colors. You can mix and match these colors, but the ones that I'll be using today is an off-white, or the exact color from this brand is Oran, a beige, and a coral peach. I'll put how much exactly I used for each of these and how much balls of yarn you'll need somewhere written over here, but for now, let's get started. Okay, so here's a very rough sketch of how this is going to work. It's very ugly, but it gets the point across. There's going to be 2 front panels that will be working vertically. So usually when I make a sweater, I'll work horizontally, but today we'll be doing 2 pieces that go vertically to make a striped pattern look, I think, a little more aesthetic. We'll have 2 pieces, and there will be buttons in the middle that will connect them after these 2 pieces are done. So the first piece we'll work on is this front. Once we're finished 2 of the fronts, we're going to move on to the back, which will just be a regular long rectangle, and then we'll do a sleeve that will also be a rectangle shape. So let's get started on this first front panel. So here I have this off-white color. This is just a second ball of yarn that I had an extra of. I am going to chain 79. Sorry, no, I'm going to chain 80. So I'll be chaining 80, and I'm making a large. So I'm usually a size medium, but I want it to be oversized, so I'll be making a large. This is an oversized jacket, so whatever your normal size is, just go up by 1. So this is going to be a large. So I'm going to chain 80. I don't know why I keep saying 79. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. Perfect. So this length, you should measure it across your body vertically. And let me just show you the diagram again. This foundation chain is right here, this length. So this is for my shoulder, and that's the length that I'd like it to be. So for me, that's a little bit after my waist. I want it to go over my waist just by a little bit, like by about a hand. And that for me is 80 chains. You can just put it across your body and see how far it goes and add or decrease the amount of chains that you would like. Once you're happy with the vertical length, you're going to want to chain down, skipping the second chain from the hook. So when I finish all this, I should have 79 stitches down. So we'll do a couple here with you, and then I'll pause and then come back when I finish. So 1, and single crochet, I'm just putting it into that chain. Yarning over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. I have a complete beginner's guide on crochet that explains all the stitches, and I will link it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, You want to make sure that you're not doing it very tight, especially the foundation chain. I tend to make my foundation chains too tight, so I always have to tell myself to relax a little bit and make them just nice. And you don't want to make them too loose, but just so that they're not tight and they're not too loose, so they kind of look like this. Like a little bit of stretch, but not too much stretch. So I'll meet you back after I am finished all the way down. So I just finished single crocheting all the way down, and you want to just do a quick count, so to make sure that you have the length that you'd like. Measure it again, make sure that it's what you want before you continue on. So I have 79. Now we are going to continue by chaining 1. So chain 1, turn, and just single crocheting in both loops. All of the stitches and chains stitches we'll be doing for this whole jacket is going to be single crochets and slip stitch, but we'll talk about the slip stitch later. Right now I'll just single crochet all the way down. Here's 1, 2, 3, and I'll keep going and I'll meet you back when I get all the way down. Okay, and I just finished going all the way down, so this is the second single crochet row, and what you're going to do is just repeat this for 3 more rows, for 3 more rows, and you're going to have a total of 5 single crochet rows. So once again, the repeat is just chain 1, turn, insert into both loops, just like that. Be sure you don't skip that first one. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. That's 1. Then you insert your hook into both loops, both the front and the back chain. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops, and just go all the way down until you reach the end. You're going to then again chain 1, turn, and do this 3. So you're going to have a total of 5 single crochet rounds, and then we'll come back. Alright, so I went ahead and did 3 more rows, so now there is a total of 5, 2, 4, and then 5. Right here. Again, 2, 4, 5. Now, the next row, we are going to do a slip stitch round. So let's find that. Put that in there. Clear up the space a little. And chain 1, turn, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then just pull through again. So again, into the next one, insert into both loops, yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to pull through this second one, just like that. And you want to do that all the way down. So let's just do a couple more together. Okay, and then I will meet you back when I finish all of it. So I went ahead and finished doing slip stitches for this round. So all the way down the slip stitch, now I'm at the end. So all I'm going to do is now switch. So I'll take my hook out, bring it over the beige yarn. If I can find the top of it. There we go. Do a slip knot. Then just tighten it a little bit, and then now this will be our chain 1. So put it back into the white, bring this brown into it, holding them steady, and that's our chain 1, turn. And I don't like to sew in the ends at the end. I like to weave them in as I go. So I'm going to take both of these and just hold them. So they're the white end and the brown end. And as I do a single crochet, I'm going to go underneath both. I'm looking through the viewfinder, so it's a little difficult. They're both grabbing the yarn, but also putting them underneath, and then just doing a normal single crochet. And then once again, putting it under, but then grabbing these 2 loose ends as I do the single crochet. And then I'll do this about 2 or 3 more times and then I'll cut it off. So that's 3, 4, 5, and now I'll take some scissors and I'll cut these. So I like to, when you're cutting, you want to pull it a little bit, because then when you cut, it'll go back in and kind of lose itself in the thread. There we go, that's done. I'm going to move the white away so it doesn't get in. And then you are just going to single crochet all the way down into the slip stitches that we did from the last round. You want to make sure when you are crocheting that you really get into those 2 stitches and you don't accidentally catch these back ones, because it will be noticeable. So just kind of take your time, make sure you're going through these 2 stitches and just do single crochet all the way down, and I'll meet you back when I finish this round, this row. And I'm finished this round of, oh my gosh, row. I keep saying round because I'm so used to doing rounds. Finished this row of brown slip stitches, and then I'm going to chain 1, turn, and now I will slip stitch into each of them. So once again, yarn over, pull through, then just pull through this one into the first loop. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will just continue down until I finish this entire row, and then I'll come back. I just went ahead and finished the slip stitch row, and this is going to be the repeat for the rest of the the rest of the horizontal length. So what we're doing is 5 single crochet rows of white, then 1 single crochet row of and then 1 slip stitch row of white, then 1 single crochet row of brown, and 1 slip stitch row of brown. I will write that up here too and in the description so that you can look at it. That's going to be the repeat, and I'll quickly start now to show you. Actually, I'll show you a piece. I've already finished one of the sides of the pieces, so I'll show you how that turned out compared to this. So this is the actual front. Let me pick up the camera to show. And as you can see, it's just a repeat round. This was the foundation chain with 5 single crochet white, 1 slip stitch white, 1 single crochet brown, 1 slip stitch brown, which is underneath here, but if you turn it, you can see it's on this side, and then you repeat. So let's do that again with this second one that we have. Let's get the white over, and we'll start in the beginning. Do a slip knot, like so. Insert your hook, get it to the right measurements, take it out, put it into the existing one, and once again this acts as a chain. So bring it over and pull it through this one, turn, and then once again you can either leave these out and then sew them at the end or weave them in as you go. I find that easier, so that's what I'm going to do. And now into these slip stitches that we just did, so you can see clearly here, 1 and 2. You don't want to get into this back portion, it will change the look, so you want to make sure you're actually going into both of these stitches, the back and the front, and not this third one over here. So insert my hook into that first one. This one's a little tight, so I kind of have to, there we go. taking the white and putting these two loose ends under it, I'm going to do a single crochet. So do that a couple more times. Once again, going into those two slip stitches, put the loose ends under, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through for a single crochet. Do that a couple more times. I think that's enough. Now I'm going to cut these two ends. I'm going to pull it a little bit too while I cut it, so they can kind of get lost in there. There we go. And then single crochet all the way down. And I've just finished doing a single crochet white row, and then we're going to repeat this 4 more times for a total of 5 white single crochet rows. So chain 1, turn, single crochet down, and then keep going, and make sure you have a total of 5 single crochet rows in total, so 4 more. I went ahead and finished up 5 rows of single crochet white, and now I'll move on to the slip stitch row. So chain 1, turn, and then slip stitch all the way down. So I'll slip stitch all the way down, and then I'll meet you back. The slip stitch round is complete, and now we will do a color change and do a single crochet brown round. Slip knot, insert in like a chain, turn, grabbing those 2 yarns, coming underneath into the slip stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then continuing down, a couple more times, and then I will cut the extra yarn. Alright, and I will cut it, pulling it a little bit, make sure not to cut anything else. Perfect. And I will be continuing all the way down, single crochets into the slip stitch from before, all the way down, and then I'll meet you back. I just finished the brown single crochet round, and now I will chain 1, turn, and do a slip stitch row all the way down. Okay, and then I'll meet you back when I've finished all that. And now that the slip stitch row is done, that's going to be the repeat, and I'll just come back after all of it is finished. So what you want to do is repeat this again. So 5 single crochet white, 1 slip stitch white, 1 single crochet brown, 1 slip stitch brown. That's the repeat, and you're going to keep going until you get to your desired mid length. So once again, if I show you this ugly drawing, the length, so this would be about from half your waist to about where your belly button is over here, or depending on how much you want a fold of the jacket. So that long. Mine was about, I had to repeat this, let me see. So for this one I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 times, so 6.5 because of the final. And you want to end off with a single crochet brown. So there is no slip stitch round at the end here. It's only a single crochet brown. So whenever you want to end it off with a brown, so that the beginning is going to be a white, and the end is a brown. So this is the beginning white, and as we're going to keep going until we get to where we want to stop, and then you'll stop at the single crochet brown round. So I'll continue that and I'll meet you back when I finish that. I just finished both pieces of the front part, so now the front is finished. And if you can see, the reason why we did the slip stitches is because it gives you this beautiful braided look down. So this is the part that we want as the front, and the back is these normal crochet pieces, or normal single crocheted pieces that don't show up, and you can see the difference here. You can see it more in real life, or if I bring it a little bit closer here. So this is the brown and the white, and if you flip it, you don't get that same pattern on the back. So that is how you can differentiate between the back and the front for the front. Alright, so I'll show you how long this piece is, because it's quite long and it's not fitting on the table. So it goes all the way down right here, and that's the front. The way that we're going to now make the back, so we'll be working on the back now, is the back will be the same length as these two pieces together. You can measure that out if you'd like. I'm not really going to bother measuring it, and I'll just eyeball it as I go. The back is going to be about a hand's length of the coral pink, which is this color. And then the rest is going to be this same pattern. So first let's start with the easy part, which is just the pink. So I am going to chain this much. So that's about 20 chains. I'll count this to see how much it is, then I'll chain that same amount. I'll count it and then I'll be right back. Alright, I just counted it and it's going to be 25 chains. I've decided to make the pink part bigger, so it'll be about a hand length and a half, or 25 to here. That's about 1/3 of the entire piece, since I want only 1/3 of it to be the pink. You can, if you'd like the pink to be more on the back or less, you can kind of change it up based on this. So if you want more pink, just add more chains on the foundation chain. If you want less, add less chains on the foundation chain. So let's get started on the back row. I'm going to use a coral pink in the same size as the ones that I used before for the front, which is a size 4 with a 5mm crochet hook. So let's chain 25. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And let's just double check that on one of the pieces that we have right here. So I put it right on top. This is about 1/3 of the entire piece, and I'm going to single crochet down. Actually, I'll add one more stitch since we are going to skip one, so it'll be 26 in total for the foundation chain. And the way that we're going to work it is we're going to keep doing single crochet rounds of this pink until it reaches double the amount of one panel, or if you put the two panels side by side, that's the length that we're going for. So let's go over here, get some yarn, and skipping this first chain, it's blurring. Skipping this first one and going into the second chain from the hook, we'll do a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and keep going down until you reach all the way to the end. Alright, I finished the first row. I am going to chain 1, turn, and single crochet all the way down. So you're just going to repeat this until you reach the length for the back. Once I finish it all, I will measure it out and let you know how much that was for me, but for now I'm going to eyeball it until it is the length of the two pieces lengthwise together. So I'll meet you back once I finish this. So I just finished the top part of the back panel, and it is the entire length of both these front panels together. When I measured it out, it was 44 centimeters or 17 inches, and the amount of rows was 97. So I did 97 rows to give me that amount. Now what we're going to do is, since this makes 1/3 of the back panel, we're going to finish the rest of the 2/3 of the back panel. So if I bring this up, we have this top one and we still have all this left. So what we're going to do is the same as this panel that we did. So we're going to do these repeats once again, except it's not going to be the same length. So I just measured it out. Since this was, let me just double check the measurement of this side. I believe this is about 22 centimeters, but let's double check. So about 22, yeah, just right there on beginning of 22. So 22 centimeters, and I still have about, let's measure all of this down. So I still have about 50 more centimeters that I need to complete the length. So I'm going to chain and then measure it against my measuring tape. And if it's 50 centimeters, then I will continue doing it. So right now, let's take the white. So we're going back to this white. And we can start to chain. So make that slip knot, insert your hook, same yarn sizes for all these colors. And then let's start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Get more yarn. Actually, this was 59, now 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. Get more yarn. 69, 70. I think we're going to need more, but I'm just going to measure this and see if it is the length, and then I'll come back. Alright, so my desk was too small, so I had to put it on the bed. And the original foundation chain that I did with 70 was too much when I measured it against the front panel. So I ended up getting rid of 8 stitches, and now it's 62 on the foundation chain. So you just want to measure it up to the tip of the pink part, and then bring it all the way down, and that's your length. So mine is 62, which is about 69 centimeters. And we're going to now start the back panel. The back panel for me, or the back panel for this pattern, is going to be the same as the front panel, except the brown bits we are going to replace with pink. It'll make a really nice design, as it'll feel like the pink is coming from this top part. So the pattern will be exactly the same. You'll have 5 rounds of single crochet, 1 round of slip stitch white, then you switch to a single crochet brown, then a slip stitch brown, then you go back to white, 5 single crochet. I'll just show you it again one more time with the first big bunch of rounds. So let's take our foundation chain and go back to the desk so we can get started. Alright, now we're back at the desk. We have our foundation chain, and get that on. So since I want it to be 62, I'll do an extra stitch because we're going to skip this one. Remember, you never start from this one, you always start from the second chain of the hook, insert it into that top part, and single crochet. I will single crochet all the way down, and that will count as the first row of this back panel. So I'll meet you back once I finish going all the way down. I just finished the first round of white, and I actually went ahead and remeasured this, and I don't know why I said 69 centimeters. I meant 53 centimeters. So I'll make sure to add a little disclaimer in the part where I mention it first. So now that we have a first one, we can repeat this again 4 more times for a total of 5 single crochets. So remember, you're just going to chain 1, turn into both loops, single crochet, and then just keep going all the way down. So we'll repeat this 4 more times for 4 rows, and that'll give us 5 rows of single crochet. And I'll meet you back when I do that. And just like before, 5 single crochet white is done, and we're going to do 1 slip stitch round of white. Slip stitch round is done, and this time, same as before, I'm just going over it because it might be a little confusing because it's now pink. You are going to change the color to pink with a slip knot as a chain. Remember, weave it in as you go, or you don't have to weave it in as you go, but I find it easiest to weave as you go. Just a normal single crochet for this round. Make sure it's all good. You can actually play around with this. If you don't want the back panel to be pink, you could just make it back to brown, or honestly, you could do any color you'd like. You could even do it all just white if you want. Whatever floats your boat, whichever one that you prefer. But I'm going to go with this pink because I think they look really, really pretty together. And I'm going to go all the way down, single crochet all the way down, and then once I finish the single crochet all the way down, I am going to chain 1 and slip stitch all the way down, and then repeat the exact same pattern that we did for the front panel. So I'm going to finish this up, and I will come back when it is the length that I want, so the length of the back panel. Alright, so I went ahead and finished the backing piece. If I measure it out widthwise, it is, let's see, it is about 64 centimeters. And the amount of, let me just count how many rows I did. I did about 98 rows in total, including the pink and the white. And now that we're done this, we can move on to making the sleeve. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the sleeve. To make the sleeve, we'll be using and going back to the pink yarn. So grab it and let's do a foundation chain, slip knot, and then I am going to chain 23. Now, the way that we're going to be working this is we're going to be making the length and then working the width. So right now this chain 23 is just the length that we want the pink to be of the top part of the sleeve. You know what, I'll just go get my diagram so that I can kind of explain this a little easier. Alright, so if this is our sleeve, and let's say this is our arm, so our hand is like this, we're going to be working vertically again, so up and down. The pink part that we're doing right now, this part right here. So the 23 and the foundation chain is this length that we're going to be working on. So the length for whichever size you're making is going to be 23. The only part that changes is this length. So this length will be the length that wraps around your arm. So let's chain 23. Got 1, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, and then we skip this one and go into the second chain of the hook, and we're just going to single crochet. So I'm just going to single crochet all the way down, and then I will meet you back. Alright, so I just went ahead and single crocheted all the way down. So this one is very simple. You're just going to chain 1, turn, and then do single crochet. And that's the repeat. We're just literally single crocheting, and the length that we're going to go up to is how wide we want it to go around the top of our arm. So let's get that diagram back. The wonderfully drawn sketch. So if we want it a little tighter around our arm, we're going to make less round rows. If we want it looser around our arm, which is what I'm doing, we're going to do more rows. So I will finish this and come back and tell you how many rows I ended up doing. Alright, so I'm back, and the amount of rows that I ended up doing is 60. So this is, if I fold it in half, right about my shoulder, a little bit below my shoulder, how wide I want it to be. And mine is a little bit oversized. You can make yours either less rows to make it tighter, or more rows to make it looser. So go ahead and repeat this again for the next side, and I'll meet you back when I have finished another side of this. So the two top parts of the sleeves are done. And I'm going to measure it out just to give... So this is 63 rows, which is 45 centimeters or 17.5 inches. And just once again, this was, I believe, 25. And centimeter-wise, it is about 19. Now we can start on the second half of the sleeve, which will be a white piece. So grab your white or off-white yarn. Then you are going to want to crochet or foundation chain 18. So let's do that slip knot, and let's chain 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now, just like the pink that we just did, all we're doing is going down. So we're going to skip this because this counts as a chain 1. And we'll go all the way down, 17. So that'll be a total of 17 down. Then we'll chain 1, turn, single crochet all the way down. And you'll keep going until you reach the same length as the pink portion. So, or if you're doing a different length, then just whatever length that you wanted around your arm. That's how much the white is going to be. It's just a smaller version. So I am going to crochet and continue going all the way up and building until I reach 63 rows, or about 45 centimeters or 17 inches, or again, however long you want it to wrap around your arm. So I'll meet you back once I do that. I went ahead and finished crocheting the white portion. Looks really, really pretty, and it measures about 45 centimeters. Let's check. Yeah, so just about 45 over here. And for this, I did 18, so it is about 15 centimeters or 6 inches. Sorry, I said 15, it's actually 16 centimeters. Now I'm going to repeat this once again, just single crocheting all the way down with a 18 foundation chain, and then just going to continue, get the second piece, and then I'll tell you what to do next. I went ahead and finished and made a second piece. So now we have 2. Now we are going to work on, so I'll put these aside, and we're going to work on the wrist ribbing. Grab your yarn, your white yarn, and you are going to make a foundation chain based on the length that you want the ribbing to be. So if you want the ribbing to be this big, that's how long your foundation chain is going to be. Mine is going to be 18, so the wrist ribbing will be about this big. So take your yarn, slip knots, take your hook, and chain 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Actually, I think 14 is about enough. Let me just check. I'm actually going to add one more to make it 15. So I ended up chaining 15. You can make it longer or shorter based on how much you'd like. And then from the second chain, so skip this first one, go into the second, do a simple single crochet. And let's just do this one together. So we got 3. No, this yarn. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, finally 14. Now, for the wrist ribbing, you're going to chain 1 and turn. And the ribbing is always worked into the back loop only. So if we bring over our work, you can see that there's 2 loops. You got the front and the back. You're going to work into the back loop. So I chained 1 already, and now we'll go into the back, single crochet 1. And you're just going to continue down into the back loop. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then last one, 14. And you're just going to repeat that. Chain 1, turn, and then put it into the back loop only. And as you go, you'll get this really nice wrist ribbing. So I will finish this up and meet you back. So I did 29 rows, which is about 21 centimeters. This is just going to be the length that you want it around your wrist. So if I take my wrist, go like this, as you can see, it fits right there around my wrist. And you're just going to make a second one. So I'll make a second one. You can either add or decrease the amount of rows you want, depending on how snugly you want it around your wrist. So I'll meet you back when I finish the second one. Alright, so I went ahead and finished both of the ribbing for the wrist. So this is how it is, the exact same size. Okay, so now that we have all our pieces, I'm going to go over each piece and how kind of the assembly will go on. It's huge, so I had to put it on the bed. This is the wrist ribbing. These are the 2 pieces for the arm. This is the back. So right now you're looking at the back portion. We have the top of the back, and this is the front portion with the brown right here. And then going over to the other side with the exact same stuff. So what I am going to sew first, I'm going to kind of go easiest. So I'm going to take this backing and I'm going to single crochet together to this piece, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Alright, it's going to be a little tricky to show everything on the camera because the camera's really close up and I don't have much room, but I'll try. So here is the front of the back. So basically this is the part that people will see on the outside, and this is the wrong side. So the way that we're going to sew these together is wrong sides together. For this, they're literally exactly the same because it's the same thing, so just pick any side you'd like. Then align them like so. So we're gonna do the wrong sides together. So right now we have the proper sides facing together, and we have this wrong side, so that when we sew, we can flip it and we'll have the right sides on the right side. I will take let's go to this side actually, because I have extra yarn here that I didn't cut, so I left the loose end. What I'm going to do is slip stitch into these loops right here. So insert into there, and slip stitch. Basically, we're going to slip stitch into this end of each, closing them together. So I will take the pink. I'll actually bring it to this side first because it's easier to work with. You can also choose to sew this. So if you take a darning needle, you could just take a darning needle and sew. But I think it's easier to, you know, I'm actually going to flip this. Yeah, so I can work with it properly. I'm going to slip stitch it. And whenever you see these ends, I'm going to try to slip, actually no, I'll do that at the end. So put the corners together. I'll take this out because I didn't do it properly. Corners together. Put it right there in the corner of each. There we go. Bring a loop and then slip stitch. Then just continue all the way down, going through this one and right into there. Slip stitch. Find the end, find this other end, and slip stitch. You can also choose to single crochet this, but if you do it, it'll be just a little bit thicker on this side. So I'm just going to slip stitch it. You just want to continue doing this all the way down. So I'll do just a couple more. I'll do a couple more and then I will pause it and then just do it on my own. You want to try to keep them close because you want the gaps to be not noticeable. So sometimes I might even do 2 slip stitches into one. You just kind of have to eyeball this one. There we go. And if you want to check, you can just flip and then see how it's looking on the other side. And that's how it's looking. Alright, so the right sides are touching. The wrong sides are the ones that are going to be facing us right now. As we slip stitch, I'm going to go all the way down and then I will meet you back. So I've reached the end, I cut it, and I'm going to leave the loose end and sew it in later. So if I flip it, this is how it looks like. Now I'll bring it over to the bed and then I'll show you what the next thing will be sewing together. So next is the sleeves, the first sleeve. The way that I'm going to do it is I am going to sew these two together. So the same ordeal, you want to put them on top of each other, just like so, end to end, and then slip stitch all the way down. Same thing on the other side. So I'll be doing that. So once again, we'll be slip stitching these two together and I'll meet you back when I finish. I just want to give you a quick recap again. So I am inserting it into both chains over here, or both stitches. So I'm going through both and then slip stitching. So you'll see on this side you'll have something that looks like that, and then on this side you'll have the slip stitch. Alright, so I sewed both, or I single crocheted both pieces together. This is how they look. Now we're going to take them, put them horizontally, or just like this, fold them, and then you are going to slip stitch them together just like so. Both sides, slip stitch on the wrong side, and then I'll come back after that. Next, you're going to take the ribbing and also single crochet it down to close it up. Okay, to connect the wrist ribbing to the arm. It's a little tricky, so I'm going to go over it. Basically what we're doing is having a cinch. So I'm going to take yarn. This is just the same yarn I used to make the slip stitch. If you don't have extra, you can just connect it here. Now this is the wrong side, so wrong side, wrong side. I'm going to take it, put my hook into these holes right here, and then bring it down back into this hole, and then I'm going to single crochet. So I'm going to be taking both. So I'll go like this, yarn over, pull through these two, yarn over, pull through. Next, let me move my hand. These two we're going to connect and bring them into right here. So, sorry, I'm looking through the viewfinder, so it's a little hard. So right here, taking two, this is one, that's two. Yarn over, yarn over, pull through both, yarn over, pull through both again. And then same thing, insert into here, grabbing this, then one and two, actually two is right here, bringing them through, and then single crochet together. Alright, so inserting into the wrist ribbing, then into the arm, and then back down to get two, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Right? Go to the next one, into the wrist ribbing, and then into the arm, down, up, grabbing two, yarn over, pull through all, then yarn over, pull through both. Just going to do more. It's quite confusing. Wrist ribbing. This isn't really exact. You just honestly put it through any two holes as long as you get that cinch. That's what you want to see. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. As you can see on this side, it's already starting to cinch. Oops. There we go. If your wrist ribbing is bigger or smaller, you may have to change this. Just count how many ribbings are around here and how many are there, and just divide it to see how many you have to cinch into one. Now we can flip it to see how it turned out. And there we go. We got the super cute cinch. And then I'm going to go repeat this on the other side. And then we can connect it. Okay, so I just finished sewing the arm. I put the wrist ribbing on. What you want to do now is find the edge, and that's where you're gonna put it in the middle. So you want to make sure that you don't have it like this. You want to make sure that the middle is like that and it's facing down. With all of your sides wrong face up, you're going to put them together like this. So you have the front panel, the second front panel. Underneath the front panels is the right side of the backing, and the back side is facing the rest. Then you have your other arm, same thing. You want this edging to be at the bottom where the armpit is. The way that you're going to sew it is coming from these two right here at the edges, single slip stitching all the way up. Then when you reach here, you want to slip stitch it to the proper side. So these two will be slip stitched all the way. Then you'll flip and slip stitch these two on the side. So I'll slip stitch here and then I'll meet you back when it's up here. Alright, so I reached the arm. Now you want to make sure that you are slip stitching the right sides together. So you want to, and by that I just mean that this top part is going with this top part and this bottom part is going with this bottom part. So once you reach right like a tiny bit below this back of the pink, just below the pink, so you want to make sure you don't accidentally put these together or these together. So this, I'm going to take it, slip stitch all the way around, and once we reach this part I'll slip stitch it and then I'll flip and go to the next side, and I'll show you that once I finish this top part. So I slip stitched up to this end, and as you can see, this white part is now what we're going to slip stitch to, but to make it easier I'm going to flip it. So I just flipped it. Here's the side that we just did for the arm over here. And now I am going to, once again, slip stitch this together and end it here, close it off, and then repeat the exact same thing for the other side. The arm's over there now. And then I'll come back when I finish both sides. So I finished attaching the arms. And then I made a neck ribbing. So the way that I did that is the same way I did the wrist ribbing, except I chained 13 and then single crochet 12 down. So this is 12. And I made 64 rows. What you want to do, so basically this is my neck, the back of my neck, and the rest of this is going to come down. So what you want to do after you're done making this at the length that you'd like, you can go longer or shorter depending on how much you want the collar to come down. We're going to first close the shoulder, so we'll slip stitch. Then when we reach here, we are going to want to slip stitch this all the way down here. So first I'm gonna slip stitch here and then I'll come back and show you what I mean. So I went ahead and slip stitched the shoulder, and now we have the neck. So what I mean is I'm going to leave 9 unstitched here as we're going to stitch to the other side. So the one that we're continuing here, so this is the pink backing, I will start by first counting 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right here in this one I will attach and I will keep going, and again this will be left. So I'm going to attach this and I'll come back. So as you can see here, I've got this portion of the neck on, and then you have this 9 that's not on. And then on this side I've also counted 9 that I won't be stitching. So then I will take the shoulder piece and continue by closing these two together. And once again, there will be extra of the white part that will be left, as right now we're just focusing on the shoulder and continuing this down. Alright, so now the shoulders are closed, and you're just going to take the collar and sew it on the top part of the front portion on both sides. So as you can see here, here's the top portion, and we're going to just sew it right here, or sorry, slip stitch it right here. Alright, so here is the finished jacket, and I just have to weave in all the ends on the inside and then it will be complete. I'll take some photos and show you how it looks. So here's the finished look, and if you look to the rightmost picture, you can see that I actually have a belt on top of the jacket. I forgot to mention this in the video, but if you're interested in making it, it's really simple. All you need to do is create a chain and slip stitch the amount that you want the length of your belt to be. I wanted mine to be pretty long so I could tie a little bow, and it was about 200 in the foundation chain. You can make yours smaller or longer depending on how much you want it to be. Then for the width, all I did was single crochet all the way down, then chain 1 turn, single crochet all the way down, and I did this so that I could have a total of 3 rows. So depending on the length that you want, you just change the foundation chain, and then the thickness is just based on how many rows you continue doing. That's really it for this jacket, and if you do end up making this, please do take pictures and I'd love to share it on my social media. If you ever get confused about something in the pattern, you can comment below or send me a direct message through Gmail or Instagram. I usually reply within a couple days. Thanks so much for watching this and have a great day.